Hi everybody, Derek Christensen here. I wanted to talk to you today about the family dynamics that make me as an estate planning and probate attorney sweat a little bit. But before I dive into that, let me tell you how to reach out to me. You can find me at my website, www.legionlawpllc.com, or you can email me directly at Derek, D-E-R-E-K, legionlawpllc.com. So with that, let's dive right in. Now, I've said this in other videos and I'll say it again, but sometimes I think I should be a certified therapist by default because families come in all shapes and sizes. Some are great, some are interesting, some are different and fantastic, some are disorganized and terrible. I've seen them in all shapes and sizes, and I wanted to talk to you about the 5 different dynamics that make me. I ask about these, and I want to make sure that I understand the family dynamic to make sure that these negative dynamics do not negatively affect the estate plan as well. So the first one, and I wrote them all down, just make sure I got them down, but the first one would be greedy. If you know that somebody in your family is greedy, not even that they're just bad at managing money. You know, plenty of people are bad at managing money, but those who are greedy, the ones who want to go out and steal and thief and lie, those are the ones that make me really nervous, because those are the ones who are highly likely to go hire an attorney to go bust up a will, to stop a trust, to make sure that they can steal whatever they can. An unfortunate human dynamic of many families is that there's one person holding everything together, and as soon as that person is gone, then everyone, just all their relationships are dramatically different, and they all want the free money. And oftentimes, if you think about it, there's their stepsister and you don't even have a good relationship with her, or you can make $200,000 by suing her. Those greedy people are going to come out of the woodworks and sue, even if they're not entitled to that money. So make sure you're aware of that. This could be children, this could be spouses, this could be, in-laws, this could be anybody that you're remotely associated with that could be greedy. And again, they don't have to be listed in the will to be a concern. So the second one is going to be a blended family. Again, blended families are totally okay, nothing wrong with them, but at the end of the day, oftentimes there's that linchpin again. And I've talked about it in other horror stories, but oftentimes this linchpin, the man who's married to another woman who has children with other women and this woman, if he's gone, the stepchildren and the half-children and the step-parent and all that stuff, they don't get along very well oftentimes, and they end up having conflicts. And as I mentioned in other videos, blended families are treated much differently in Texas, in so much that property is split in random directions all over the place, and it creates a lot of opportunities for conflict between stepchildren and stepparents. So my recommendation again is to have a solid estate plan in place to make sure that doesn't happen. The third dynamic would be a disorganized personal representative. Now, a personal representative could be an executor of a will or a trustee of a trust. Either one, a personal representative is going to be in charge of making sure what you have written down actually happens. If they are disorganized, if they do not communicate well, if they're not very straightforward and honest and good at communicating with others, then that is going to cause a lot of problems, because the lack of knowledge, the lack of trust is what usually causes such strong discord in these family situations. Even if everything is being done correctly, if there's no communication or trust, oftentimes things fall apart and everybody gets really upset very quickly. So you want to make sure that your person who's in charge of everything is organized, good at communicating, straightforward, to the point, honest, all those very important qualities, because if they aren't, then there could be a possibility that the family will fall apart after you've passed away. The fourth one would be, I wrote down emotional, but that's not to say that being emotional is bad. However, I did say it is inappropriate to be so emotional that you ignore the wishes of the person who you're making medical decisions for. So this is more specific for medical documents, like a medical power of attorney, do not resuscitate order, advanced healthcare directive, in other words, HIPAA release forms. You want to make sure that the people who are on these documents are cool, calm, collected, and they're going to follow your wishes under these circumstances. Because if you think about it, if you put somebody in charge that you know in the past, when they get emotionally boiled and they want to ignore what you have to say and they do whatever they want, what if that person's in charge, they're the only person in charge, and they find the medical power of attorney? Well, what if they just ignore it? What if they just hide it or destroy it? And then you have to follow whatever the doctors say. And the doctors may be in line with what that person wants, but not what you want. I spoke about this in a horror story, so it actually does happen, but a sister who didn't want to let her mother die decided to just not let anything happen, even though the mom very specifically said, if I'm ever in a coma, please just take me off the ventilators. So that's why you don't want somebody who is so emotionally, ramped up in those circumstances to ignore what you have to say. They can be emotional, they can have a really tough time, but as long as they follow what you want, then that's what matters the most. And if they don't, then that's a very big red flag. And the last dynamic is what I call vengeful/spiteful. If they don't like you and they are very angry at what you've done to them, please, for the love of all that is good, do not anger them even more. In your estate plan, I mentioned this in other videos, but you don't want to call them out and embarrass them in public and say why they've been such a terrible person. You really do want to just let the vengeful, spiteful, angry person be that way while you still have your estate plan that doesn't put them on blast. So try your very best to make sure that you're as formal and as prim and proper in front of them and in your legal documents to make sure that they don't get even more angry and that pushes them to sue and cause problems for you. So these are just 5 different family dynamics that I'm looking out for as an attorney. I absolutely ask every single one of my potential and current clients, what is your family like? Do I need to know anything? Is there any kind of concern that you have about your family members? And if any of these pop up, we have systems in place and ways to address those concerns in the legal documents. So if you have any of those family dynamics, or trust me, there are plenty more out there, and you want to share them with me, feel free to let me know. I'll be your therapist, and I won't even charge you for it, for the free consultation. So you can do that free consultation at my website. So you'll go to it, the Contact Us page. You can schedule a consultation over the phone directly on my calendar at www.legionlawpllc.com. That's on the Contact Us page. Or you can email me directly, Derek, DEREK, at legionlawpllc.com. So with that, have a great day, and hope you watch the next one. Thanks.